July 4th, 2024, Taigong's 6 Secret Teachings Motivating the Army. King Wu asked Taigong, I want the officers and soldiers of the army to contend to conquer the city, to compete to attack in the battlefield, to be angry when hearing the command to retreat, and to be pleased to hear the signal to advance. How can I achieve that? Taigong said, there are 3 key factors you must consider if you wish to conquer the enemy. King Wu said, can you explain them? Taigong said, a general does not wear a leather coat in winter, does not use a fan in the summer, and does not use a canopy when it rains. Then he can be called a general with proper manners. If a general does not set himself up as an example, he will not experience the same cold and warm as his soldiers. When negotiating narrow tunnels and passing muddy lanes, a general should leave his chariot and walk. Then he can be called a general of strength. If he does not take the first step, he will not understand the hardships of his soldiers. The general only enters his tent when all the other tents have been set up. He only begins his meal after his soldiers' food has been served. If the army has no fire, the general cannot have any either. Then he can be called a general of restraint. If a general cannot restrain himself, he cannot understand the hunger of his soldiers. If a general can share the cold and the heat and the hardships and hunger with his people, all the officers and soldiers will rejoice at the sound to advance and be angry at the signal to retreat. When they attack high walls and deep moats and face the danger of stones and arrows, they will contend to conquer the city. On the battlefield, once the fighting starts, the soldiers will advance with bravery and without hesitation. This is not because soldiers are born to love death and rejoice in injury, but because the general shares their heat, cold, hunger, and hardships, so that they are willing to fully commit themselves. That's a very powerful reflection and just a great reminder to anybody who leads that you have to get in the trenches. You can't just sit on your throne and be king of the castle. You have to get out there and do the work. Otherwise, yeah, I mean that's just what it comes with time and experience and taking initiative. Secret Commander's Seal. King Wu asked Taigong, when the general leads the army into enemy territory, there is an emergency. The situation might be beneficial or harmful. I would like to inform the general of the situation from afar. What shall I do? Taigong said, there are 8 types of secret commanding seals for the ruler to inform the general with. The one which signifies great victory is 1 foot long. The one which signifies defeating the army and defeating the enemy and capturing their general is 9 inches long. The one which signifies the surrender of the enemy's army and the occupation of their cities is 8 inches long. The one which signifies repelling the enemy and reporting the situation is 7 inches long. The one which motivates the soldiers and people to enhance the defense is 6 inches long. These are all not prescripted. These are just straight readings. I've never read these before. This is always the first time I read them. The one which requests supplies and additional support is 5 inches long. The one which reports defeat and the death of the general is 4 inches long. The one which reports defeat and the loss of soldiers is 3 inches long. For those who are in charge of delivering commanding seals, any delay or leak of information will mean a death sentence. These 8 secret commanding seals are used by the ruler and general to pass information in secret without revealing any details. Even though the enemy is wise, the seals cannot be decoded. King Wu said, that is brilliant. And we'll wrap up this 4th of July special with secret letters. King Wu asked Taigong, when the general leads the army into enemy territory, the ruler and the general want to gather the army and develop new strategies, but the secret commanding seals cannot explain the numerous details while the army is separated by vast distances and is unable to communicate. What shall we do? Taigong answered, all secret plans require secret letters rather than secret commanding seals. The ruler uses secret letters to inform the general, and the general sends them to the ruler to ask questions. Each letter is divided into 3 parts and sent by 3 couriers. Each courier carries 1 part of the letter. Even the couriers do not know the contents of the letter. This is called a secret letter. No matter how clever the enemy is, our secrets will not be revealed. King Wu said, that is brilliant. The army's strategy is next, followed by the unconventional army, the 5 notes, the signs of military maneuver, agricultural instruments, and then that's going to wrap us up to go into Tiger Secret Teaching, Chapter 4.